Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the town hall with Lama Surya Das, presented by Dzogchen Foundation. My name is Kevin. I'll be hosting for today. Let me start by wishing all the fathers out there happy Father's Day. I hope you have a good Father's Day, and absolutely we're celebrating our fathers today. So there we go. Before we get started, I want to let you guys know what's on deck coming up. So on July 15th through 17th, the summer meditation retreat is going to be virtual. You can sign up here at dzogchen.org. For those of you who were able to participate in the day-long retreat a couple weekends ago, which was excellent, by the way, just incredible teachings by Lama and such a good opportunity to practice with the Sangha. This allows you a deeper dive, a bigger immersion into your practice. And this is certainly a time where, because the world seems so crazy to so many of us, it's a good time to practice, to keep our heads on straight. So not join in the craziness and keep ourselves together. So we hope you join us for that. More information at dzogchen.org, and I'll try and post some stuff in the chat. But without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome Lama Surya Das and get started.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Father's Day. In Tibetan Buddhism, we say all sentient beings are like our mothers, our fathers, our grandparents, our beloveds. We're grateful. We're fortunate. We love them. We respect them. And it's such a great thing to be fortunate enough to be a parent, or in any way to help bring others into and up in this saha, or floating, this saha, dewdrop-like world, as Buddhism calls it. Yes, there is a lot of craziness in the world today, a lot to think about. We can take a break from that today, this morning, and step off the treadmill, the gerbil wheel of ordinary thoughts and concerns, if we choose to, and have a moment of peace. In fact, let's have a moment of silence for all those who are suffering war, aggression, refugee dislocation, and fear and insecurity, and worse, harm, etc. In the Ukraine and elsewhere, all the underdogs, the marginalized, the oppressed. Let me say the repressed and suppressed include some of us, even more, even though we're luckily free from being bombed or dislocated from our homeland at the moment. We're all refugees, as the Buddhist pioneer Chogyam Trungpa said, wandering, seeking safe port in the storm. That's why we look for something deeper, something truer, something we can rely on. People in the West call it something like a higher power with the meaning and purpose of life, or love and truth. In Buddhism, it's called a refuge, the triple gem, a refuge, a safe port in the storm, a sanctuary. So let's have a moment of silence and think about, or unthink about, all those, and open our hearts and include them all in our prayers and aspirations, and good-hearted, healthy-minded, loving kindness and compassion, here and now together, moving from me to we. Why not? Thank you. Today's Juneteenth, an interesting, meaningful holiday, celebrated more and more. Now people know more and more about it. Celebrating, I think it was the last day that people found out about the Emancipation Proclamation at the end of the Civil War. It was announced in Galveston, Texas, was like the last outpost with the slaves and citizens. What do we call them? The enslaved peoples and other citizens found out they were free. It's also Sabbath, day of rest, rest from our ordinary so-called worldly preoccupations. Perhaps we could say moving from the head to the heart, or from competition to cooperation, collaboration and mutuality, from me to we, from selfishness to sharing, to inclusiveness, to mutual reciprocity, recognizing our interwovenness, our intrinsic interconnectedness, interdependence, and interbeing, as the Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh coined it, interbeing, intermeditating together. So I call it in my book, Make Me One with Everything, intermeditation, co-meditation, awakening together. Juneteenth, Sabbath, a day of rest, not just laziness or fatigue or depressed, staying in bed all day, although you're certainly free to do as you wish, as long as you accept the karmic implications, as long as it's within the local rules and laws and mores, let's say, to be simple, not harming anyone else, including oneself. We were making up names for each other last night at dinner, and the 12-year-old named me Grandpa too, named herself Danger to Self and Others. What is this world coming to? 12 years old. I mean, it's a cool nickname. It's like being bad is good still. That's part of her attitude. Anyway, she's fine. She's getting there. We all have to push the envelope and find out who and what we really are and what's up, what's true for us and for the world. Buddhism doesn't stress words like reality or meaning of life. Those are Western concepts, but we can find it through awakening, through clearing our vision. We see things more clearly. That's why we co-meditate, intermeditate, or vegetate. What do I call it? Meditate together. Sometimes it feels like to me, maybe I'm getting, what's the word? I used to know words. Jaded after all these decades. And yet somehow miraculously, and I share this with you just for the sheer joy of it, and maybe you'll find some inspiration or surprise also after going through all these ups and downs and twists and turns, and keep going, and it's an infinite journey and so on. Meditation more fresh and wonderful than ever. I'm not just saying that. I found a new leash on meditation since sort of semi-retiring and being in rewirement, as I call it, during COVID, and being more grounded and yet boundless, stable, enjoying letting go and letting be, and resting in the light, being light, going light, living lightly on this earth, being a light in this world rather than a shadow, a blight on the landscape, being a light in this somewhat benighted world. Wisdom and higher awareness, higher consciousness is nothing more than a higher form of sanity. If we're becoming more insane or nutty or out there by our spiritual practice, maybe we need to retrench, reconsider, look at it again, or seek some help with course correction, or do it ourselves if we can. So it's now or never, as it is said. We can get there from here, being there while getting there every step of the way. Being here right now, that's our practice today. I know it's Father's Day. I think of all these holidays as really adulting day, mature day, bodhicitta day, thinking of others, not just oneself, family, community, whatever, not just kids. Also, I'm thinking of my own father and mother, parental unit and grandparents and uncles and aunts and mentors and teachers and all those who helped bring me along. I'm happy, grateful. We're all adventurers. We're all artists in the art of life. We're all adventurers, like Tintin. Anybody seen this rare Tintin book? There's dozens of books about Tintin. This one's Tintin in Tibet. Check it out. Children of all ages. I love it. There's probably some animated cartoons too about Tintin. I can't remember. When I lived in France, I got to love Asterix. Look it up. With his dog named ID Fix, or Fixed Ideas. That's his dog. Brilliant. Captain Haddock, captain of their ship. Life ain't much fun if you don't have a sense of humor. My girlfriend in the 70s, Teensy Das, Tina Lakshmi, used to call me the serious, what did she call me? Serious Das. But I'm much younger and lighter now. Thank God. Thank Buddha. Thank God for the liberating Dharma, as I always say. Be funny and provocative. Every day is a good day when we're in a good, quote, state of mind, way of heart. I myself, in rewirement, I don't know if I could say striving mightily. I like to talk like that because it's big, inspiring, energetic. I myself am trying to settle from the head into the heart more and play with kids and dogs and in the waves and ride my bike outside more than be a bookworm. I know I'm surrounded by books here, but this is not my office. This is the office of my analyst, Chad. Oh, yeah. Chad of the 3 or is it 13 children here. Chad and Julie's mothership here in outside Northampton, Mass. So I hope you're comfortable. I hope you'll join us in upcoming events, our summer retreat, day long, and so on. I'll be there. Of course, virtual. We are trying to get going in person again. We will. Residential retreats, intensive retreats, deeper meditation practices is our bread and butter. Let's not lose track of that. How sweet it is. How fortunate we are. Lucky to be doing this. Lucky we get to do it. We don't have to do it. We get to do this life. We get to do what we're doing right now. It's inherently meaningful and beautiful, purposeful. But if we're not entirely in touch with that, let's just be aligned with ourself, our body. Sit up straight, not rigidly. The spinal column stacked like coins, each vertebrae like coins on top of each other, not bent over, not overthinking like Rodin's The Thinker statue. Not looking out the window like in kids' school, waiting to go out and play, trying to get away from what we're doing. Gaze into the window of emptiness and recognize your true nature, your true self and all its projections, and come home to yourself. Just sitting, just breathing, just being present and aware, awakeful, mindful rather than mindless, attuned. Aligned. Moshe Feldenkrais, founder of the wonderful body awareness and alignment method, the Feldenkrais method, said, the best posture to stand in is natural and relaxed. Who doesn't know how to do that? And yet somehow we make it into a chore, a challenge. Come home to ourselves, just being. We already are, and yet we hardly know it. What do we have to do to be? We have to breathe 100 times or 3 times, or do an hour of yoga or half an hour of intense running or more to then relax and just be sitting and breathing and being and letting everything settle. We can do that in micro, in instant meditation, just breath, just breathe, relax and smile, land and arrive here and now. Awake, conscious, aware, intentional, present. Unadulterated, pure attention, undivided attention is the essence of contemplative practices, as Simone Weil, the French philosopher lady, said. This best thought, this moment, best moment, as the Mahamudra saying of Tibet goes, just this much, this is it, as my Thai teacher Ajahn Chah said. Take it, get it. Now, this awareness, the unfabricated, authentic Buddha within. Just being as is, as we already are. Relax, let go, let come and go, let be. Let go, let be. Let it be, as Paul McCartney sings. A good piece of instruction from the Grand Beatle. Oh, we get to do it. We love it. Thank you. Eyes open, ears open, nose open, stepping directly into the gleaming waves of nowness, nowness awareness. Somehow these clear breaking waves, wave upon wave, seem to become opaque. How does that happen? One bit of water, clear, transparent, wave upon wave, opaque. This wave, only wave, this bubble, only bubble. See through yourself and be free, bubble, children. Children of noble family, as Buddha called us. Heart open, mind open, chakras and channels relaxed, open, juicy, luminous, prana-ized, chi-ized. Pure energy, natural flow, the great Tao, natural flow. Let it go. Just go. Go. Go, young. You man. Not west or east. Go. Way to go. In the great way. The great Tao, the natural flow. And enjoy the joy of natural meditation, unmeditation, co-meditation together, intermeditation, natural. This is the way, the truth, and the life, the light, O luminous beings. Let go of your self-concepts and soar and settle at the same time. Light bearers, bodhisattvas. Thank you, love you, Imaho. Ah. 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 I was like a teenage Buddha statue sitting in the gardens and caves and deserts. I was a teenage stupa, but I'm much less stupid now. Imaho. Let's go together. Wondrous, amazing, Eureka, hallelujah, yes. Imaho. Wow. Everything open, mouth open, go gaga. Drool a little to get your habitual reference points and identity. No danger to self or others. Free at last. What a relief. Imaho, thank you. Way to go. This moment, only moment, this breath, only breath, even thoughts, this thought, only thought. No need to get tangled up in chains of discursive thinking. This thought, only thought. come down from the arid desert, the conning tower, the ivory tower, the arid desert of the intellect and the head, into the warm, juicy oasis of the heart, of the hara, of the lower belly, of feeling, of sensing directly, messy, beyond words or concepts, just feeling and feeling, just feeling. Nothing special to feel or unfeel, no one feeling it. Just natural special effects. Wow. The richness of being. Ornaments of existence, not distractions. Just feeling who can be that present, sensitive, sensing, intuitive. So Chet Master Long Papa said, the sixth sense is left in the natural state is the way of the natural great perfection. Oh, where do you find that instruction like that? Check it out. Wow. eye gazing, sky gazing, space mingling, infinite dissolving. Breathing in, relaxing, calming, freeing the mind, breathing out, letting go, smiling. And outside or inside, self or other, up or down, and all dichotomies and polarities. Really, there's no two. It's beyond oneness and noneness as well. Ineffable, inexpressible. Isness, nowness, Sugata Garbha, Tata Garbha, Tata Garbha, Buddha-ness, so-called Buddha nature. Like Mother Nature, not a thing, but the most marvelous thing. Beyond green, emerald, like spiritual kryptonite. Nothing can stand against it or make him other, no self and other, no two. In his true nature. Imahu. Like a bubble turned inside out of the sea. Sea of seeing, seeing through oneself and be free. No need to burst the bubble to return to the sea that one's always been in, seeing through oneself and be free. Imaho. That's the union of shunyata and jnana, avipa, of emptiness and awareness, the capital A. It's not nothing. It's really something, ain't it? The joy of meditation. Assume your Buddha seat. Noble scions of well brought up family. Buddha family. Way to go. Nothing more to know. Just be present, aware, incandescently present, lucidly aware. At ease in our home, in the naturalness, the natural great perfection, the luminous great completeness, the natural grape confection. How sweet it is. The short of Dzogchen teaching, the seed syllable Dzogchen, the logo of the Dzogchen Center. The seed syllable in the throat chakra of creativity, expression, imagination, the seed syllable, sort of algorithm of Dharma. Red Even the sound of the birds, bird song is the song, the tongue of the Buddha, of truth, of enlightenment. The sound of the purling, a rippling stream, the tongue of the Buddha, sound of enlightenment. The sound of your breath. Hey, who doesn't listen to their baby's breathing with that feeling? That's it. Co-meditate with your baby's breath if your breath doesn't do it for you. Come on. It's right under your nose and so close, but we overlook it. It's so obvious, so evident that we don't notice it. We see right through it. It seems too good to be true, so we can't believe it. It's not outside ourselves, so we can't obtain it anew. From Amazon deliveries. American Buddhas awaken, throw off your chains, your concepts, your limited self images. Open those eyes, those big eyes, blue as an orange. I'll meet you there. American Buddhas awaken. Throw off your chains, your discursivity, your rutting, your untruthiness, and get real. Be real as you are. Pretending is as real as anything else when you know it, like your Halloween costume. But when you don't know it, it could be scary. Authenticity is all. Imho. We are all Buddhas by nature. We only have to recognize who and what we are. We only have to awaken to that fact. It's only temporary obscurations would fail it. As the Laughing Diamond Sutra says, the Hevajra Tantra. All Buddhas, not Buddhists, God forbid, all Buddhas by nature. It's only adventitious obscurations which fail that fact. So dig it. Enjoy everything as it is, beyond judgments of good and bad, wanting or not wanting. Imaho. There's nothing good or bad, but thinking makes it so. As Buddha said, Or maybe that was Shakespeare. Who can remember? Oh, mani padme hum, 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 oh, mani padme hum. Oh, mani padme hum, oh, mani padme hum, oh, mani padme hum, oh, mani padme hum, mani padme hum, oh, 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 mani padme hum. May your beings be happy, content, fulfilled. May all be awakened, liberated, and free. May all enjoy peace and harmony, an end to war and violence, poverty and oppression, inequality, natural disasters. And may we all together fulfill the promise of this gorgeous spiritual journey all the way to heaven, to nirvana, to bliss, to enlightenment. One family, one beloved community, one sangha, one satsang, one. I bow to the Buddha, the light, the divine in your seat. Don't overlook them. Ah, how sweet it is, as Buddha said. Or maybe that was Jackie Gleason. It's a beautiful day. Let's enjoy it. Not take it for granted. Benedictine brother David Steindl-Rast, author worth reading and practitioner too. Benedictine brother David says, it's the title of one of his wonderful books, gratitude is the greatest form of prayer. I love that. He's riffing on the greatest mystic of the old world, Christianity, Meister Eckhart. Who said gratitude is the only prayer I need? Who said, even more Buddhistically, if you want to label things, Meister Eckhart famously said, the eye through which I see God is the eye through which he sees me. Let's not worry about pronouns at the moment. This is too profound. The eye through which I see God is the eye through which he sees me. Whoa. That's non-duality. That's the totality. That's the big view, the big perspective, Mahamudra of Dzogchen, of Vedanta, non-dual Hinduism, Advaita Vedanta. That's the unifying theme, the overarching picture, the big picture. If we keep that, we can have a little more perspectives on the local differences, culture, language, views, religious or political, etc. It all comes down to love, really, and love in action, compassion, warm, empathic compassion. Any questions or sharing, please? Questions?
We have a question here from Agata.
Thanks, Kevin.
She says, hi, I have a problem with meditation lately. When I start my meditation, I get very angry and it's difficult to stop or let go. When I try to work on it, let it go, observe it, it doesn't work. I can't relax during the meditation. Would you be so kind to give me a piece of advice how to deal with this situation?
Well, it depends on what kind of meditation technique or practice, what tradition you learned or you're using, trying to stop feelings. Difficult, challenging, also not entirely necessary. What you do with the feelings is more important. I'm not suggesting you just act them out, because we can't control what happens or what comes up in our heart and mind, but what we make of it makes all the difference. How we react or respond, if we just blindly react, or if we know how to feel it and process it and reflect upon a principled or appropriate or, mindful, compassionate response, not just a blind reaction. But of course, we could practice leaning into the anger and practicing we don't have a lot of time here to talk about all kinds of practices. I'm just mentioning that if you're familiar, or Lojong, spiritual refinement, Lojong, sending and taking, Lojong, what's it called? Tonglen, sending and taking, putting yourself in the other's place, Tonglen, equalizing self and other, Tonglen, very good practice for reversing the tendency to push away what you don't like, think you don't like, and pulling towards what you think you like, evening it out a little, Tonglen. But again, you have to think about what kind of practice you're doing, what kind of instructions, and how you deal with it. And then from a more normal human point of view, one would have to ask you, and maybe you could talk to somebody about this, a friend, a mate, a therapist, or whatever, anger. Why you're angry. I'm not going to ask you now, in public, why you're angry, who you think you're angry at. Is that what you're really angry at? Or is it an ancient rage that's been buried from, your difficult something in the back, trauma, upbringing, abuse, or even past lives? All these things you could look into depending on where you're coming from. Anger is just an energy. It hasn't yet devolved into violence. So how we respond to it makes all the difference. And we don't necessarily need to get rid of it all or suppress it. Just like fear. Fear has a very important survival mechanism involved. We don't necessarily want to get rid of it and just naively wander into the dangerous, poisonous swamp, edge of the cliff, steep cliff at night, or for that matter, Central Park of New York at night, without being aware that there might very well be things to fear there, and taking care or precautions or not going alone. So I hope that's helpful. Anger is a huge subject. In a way, I think it's the poison of the modern world. You could say selfishness is, you could go more into the Buddhist theory of ignorance and not knowing, but selfishness and brings a lot of, fear and anger, and greed and selfishness. So we could look into all these things. There's a lot of good practices to do on that, including loving kindness, cultivation, Tonglen, equalizing self and others, should leaning into the anger, the difficulty, the demons, your inner demons, rather than running away from them, etc. Questions? I see time is going. So one other question.
We do have one other question. Let's see if we can do it briefly. It says, please comment on the dichotomy of quote unquote acceptance versus trying to make the world better, improving ourselves along the path.
Did you say improving ourselves or improving?
Improving ourselves along the path.
Right. There's always two sides to things. So, you can't just say, which should I do, like passive or active or alone or with others, this kind of thinking. It's too simplistic. So acceptance goes a long way to transforming things kind of counterintuitively. Like if you accept your mate, doesn't that go a long way to improving your relationship? So acceptance is more like on the absolute side, leave it as it is. And then in the relative side of life, you could also accept the impulses to try to make a better world and redress social injustices and make yourself a better person and so on, and helping yourself and others. So, on the more ultimate side, like the oneness, the unity vision, it's all equal, one taste, it's all sort of the same. You could be a little more detached, but on the relative side, you could even be more engaged in looking into this and recognizing every thought, word, intention, deed has some karmic repercussions, and getting your hands on the steering wheel of your life, karma, causation, rather than just randomly being buffeted around by the winds of karma, of nature and nurture and things like that. So acceptance on one hand goes well with, let's say, altruistic commitment or caring. Why inhibit the impulse to help your children? You're supposed to, it's built in. But also, you have to recognize you do the best you can and let go. Whatever happens, happens. You keep doing the best you can and letting go. And whatever happens, happens. You can read about this in the Tao Te Ching, Stephen Mitchell's great translation. There's a lot in this about acceptance and caring. I want to say one more thing because anger is such a big subject. One of my favorite books is How to Be a Bodhisattva by Shanti Deva, the Peace Master. If you're familiar with reading books that were written 1,200 years ago, it's a good book, translated. The fourth chapter, I think, or fourth chapter about patience, paramita, the panaceic practice of patience. Shanti, patient forbearance, acceptance. Shanti, patience, harmony, peace, patience. Patience is the antidote or the something ameliorating factor to anger. So I think patience, paramita, the fourth paramita in the scheme of the 6 or 10 Buddhist transformative virtues, the paramitas, is very important for us to think about today. Patient forbearance, as Jesus said, whatever he said, if somebody slaps you on the cheek, turn the other cheek or something. If he takes your coat, give him your pants too, or whatever Jesus said. I haven't read that lately. Patience, but that doesn't mean you have to be a doormat. There's even a story about Buddha and a snake. I can make it really short. It's a good story. And the snake says, I got beaten by the village boys. You told me to be nonviolent and not to retaliate and not to, bite them. And Buddha said, I didn't tell you not to hiss. Are you with me? It's a great story about nonviolence. I didn't tell you not to protect yourself by hissing. That would scare them. Thank you. Love to one and all. Be beautiful as you are. Thank you. Nice to see you all today.
Great answers to those questions. Great session today. Thank you, Lama. I hope the rest of you are as grateful as I am to be able to have this weekly check-in with you and to keep these teachings going. Happy Father's Day to all. Please check out our programs at dzogchen.org, and we will see you guys down the road at hopefully some more of these town halls and the retreat in July. Have a beautiful day, everyone.